Or dental practice, what makes you different? How do we become different? In order for people to come to you and pay your full fee, you have to be different. In a sea of sameness, how do we do this? Well, today I have an amazing guest on. Her name is Heather Crockett, and we're going to be talking about one move, infinite differentiation power that'll change your practice forever. So please listen up. Hope you guys enjoy this. Let's roll. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show podcast. You know the jam around here. I get to bring on the most brilliant people ever and give you some great information to help you improve your practice and your life. And today we're going to do just that. Everybody's been talking about how do we move away from insurance? How do we get more of the right type of patients in our practice? How do I start enjoying my days with these people in my practice? And we're going to show you exactly how to do that when it comes to differentiation. So, Heather, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for letting me come back, Kirk. It's always so fun to come chat with you.
Letting me come back. We make you come back.
You do a little bit, but I enjoy it, so it's all right.
You're too sharp not to have you back over again and again and again. Now, for those of you that have been listening to the podcast and you don't quite know what we do, here's what we do. We are practice coaches. And so we help great practices that get stuck all the time. And one of their questions when they come to us is like, how do we get better? How do I get more of the right type of patients? And so we help them through these ceilings. And today we're going to be talking about differentiation. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know this is a big part of what we help dental practices do is move into that realm where they're practicing the way they want and they create a better practice and better life. But Heather, from your perspective, you get to do this all day long. Let's start at the top. Why is this so important?
This is very important. You just think, I've met so many dentists across the nation that talk about, oh, I'm just a general dentist. Like, you're not just a general dentist. You provide incredible dentistry to the patients in your practice and potentially more patients that you want to bring into your practice. What makes you different? We got to identify that and figure that out. There is something, and this tool, this resource will help you to find that and really to identify it and maybe even cultivate some of that learning. If you still feel like you're the same old Joe down the street and you don't have anything that really differentiates you from the other guys, then this tool will also help you to identify those things that you're interested in that could be potential ways to differentiate yourself. So you're not just a general dentist. There's something really special about you, and we're here to help you figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this topic so much. And let me help with just a little bit more perspective on why this is important to you as a dentist listening, because a lot of times people want to move away from PPOs. They want people to pay their full fee, and we get all upset. At the end of the day, I think money spent on dentistry is one of the best investments a human being can make. Once you get clear about what we're going to walk you through, you can add some life to it. You can explain it with a lot of confidence. Your team can explain it with a lot of confidence. Your practice will change. You'll look at your schedule and go, wow, what a great day. At the end of the day, your favorite days are when you look at the schedule and you're like, these were the type of people I love talking to because they share the same values, they appreciate what you do, and it has multiple benefits. There's really 3 huge valuable outcomes to getting this right. Heather, walk us through those.
So this will help you to attract the right people. You've said it, Kirk, like if you have the right procedure at the right time of day on the right person, the right patient, your day becomes magical. That right person, like getting that right patient in the chair, differentiation, the right person, the right patient, to get your day becomes magical. It also helps to build a strong brand identity so that you know exactly what you're worth in your community. It also, last thing, helps you to, again, differentiate yourself from all of the other general dentists or other dentists that are in the area, so that your patients know very clearly why you are so special compared to their other options.
Yeah, totally agree. And what I want to do is like walk us through this whole process. What is differentiation? Like, how would you define it? Let's define it first.
So defined, it is the process of making a product, a service, which is what we're really doing, a brand distinction from competitors by highlighting and really making it a point to show our unique qualities and features that are going to appeal to our specific avatar patients that we want to bring in. At ACT, we use this tool to help teams think through what makes their team so special and how they can then communicate that to their patients, their potential patients, and the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you start to do this, again, you start to stand out from all your competition. It creates a great culture difference for you and your team. Your team can describe it. They can put their arms around it. There's going to be moments where they're talking to patients and they have to transition from being a regular dental team member to more of a salesperson. I don't like that word, but the truth of it is they do have to sell, and they've got to be able to sell it or describe it with a lot of energy. And that's why when you get this right and you spend a lot of time with your team doing it, you can see they add a lot of energy to it. They add a lot of clarity to it. And in those critical moments, when you get up and you walk out of the room, you can listen to one of your team members describe this whole process with a lot of energy and why you're truly different. So take us through the steps of the tool. How does this work, Heather?
So there's three main things that we need to identify, and the tool helps to ask you specific questions that help you to identify who your core customer is, so that avatar patient, identifying your core competencies, your three uniques, what makes you so special and amazing, and also to identify your weaknesses, because awareness is the first step to just knowing, hey, if I'm not good at root canals, and I don't enjoy doing root canals, I'm not going to try and spend a lot of time, effort, and energy becoming really good at root canals if it's like, I'm really okay just referring those out. So those are the three main pieces that we identify through this resource and tool. One thing you said before, Kirk, that I love so much, you keep saying this word over and over. Going through the differentiation process really helps to instill that confidence, not only in you as the practice owner, but like you said, your entire team. Like you wake up and you may know like, oh, I want to help people. That's like the general answer that we get from most dental team members. By identifying these three things and really instilling that confidence, then your team's verbal skills is going to go up a level, which is crucial to seeing more of those patients that we want to see and delivering the kind of dentistry that we really enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, in an age of AI where people are creating websites and website copy and all of this and social copy at record speeds, they're able to copy the best ways of writing copy, dental copy in the whole internet universe. This becomes one of your distinct advantages is how do we really create what works in the world of dentistry? It's called trust. And it's going to be around the things that you're really good at, these core competencies, these core customers, and these weaknesses. And again, this is differentiation. But I want you to go back to this, Heather. Let's break this down a little bit more. When you say core competencies, like assessing your strengths, what does that really mean? Like, I want you to explain that.
So these are the things that you do really well over and over and over. People may say or tell you like, hey, you're really good at this. When you do this, I see like this glimmer of light in your eyes. Like I can tell you're really passionate about that. Some things that you may do that another dentist down the street may not feel comfortable doing. Those are the kinds of things that we use to help identify what those true strengths are. So reflecting on what we consistently do well and asking ourselves what services, what experiences, what things do we provide to patients that they absolutely love? And it may be asking some of your favorite patients, like, what is it about our practice that makes you come back and remain loyal here? What does your team excel at? What makes you so different from other practices? I have a team that does chocolate. They give chocolate out at the end of their preventive dental hygiene appointments instead of a toothbrush. Many of their patients were saying, I never use the toothbrush anyway. I just keep it around when my grandkids come. And that was like not super beneficial to them as a team. So they said, what else could we do? How could we be different and be hospitable and have something that the patient looks forward to? And it's a really nice chocolate that the patients are like, oh, could I have a chocolate? Don't forget my chocolate. I want that chocolate at the end. That's your part.
I love it. I love it. And I'll add 3 more pieces to this. Once you get this right, this is how it works. First of all, you as a dentist and the other members of your leadership team can describe this with a lot of energy. It brings you all together. So if you have multiple dentists in your group or in your practice, everybody's got to be on the same page of what are we really, really good at? What are our strengths, core customers, and our uniques? Then you have a team. And if you have multiple doctors, you probably have a bigger team. So now our team can describe that with a lot of energy. And the real test becomes if a patient can describe why you're going to go to the dental office I go to because of this. And now you can, again, start to see all of this come together. But assessing your strengths and your core competencies, it's an important piece of it. And we have a handout that helps you with this, but you can't lie to yourself in this whole process. You got to say, like, this is what I'm really good at. I like to pick on Dr. Bob Margis all the time because he's in Des Moines, Iowa. And if you've ever been to his practice, it's beautiful. It's like a simple little practice, but it's not a Taj Mahal. And when you walk in there, people are laughing. And he's adamant about protecting tooth structure and being really good at composites and not, prepping unnecessary tooth structure. I say it all the time, but he says we should have a fee for preserving tooth structure. And I think it's awesome. And it's one of the things that he really has built an entire career, an entire practice on. And people can describe it. I drove 5 hours just because I know what his core competencies are. And the day I was in his practice, there was a woman who said yes to a $62,000, yes, I did say that correctly, full mouth rehabilitation in Des Moines, Iowa. Like, why would she do that? And the fact she said it, she's like, he's so nice. I know he's really good at this. You can see that everybody resonates in what their core competencies, why they're different. So also, I want you to go back to this. You said, what are your core customers and what do they value? What does that mean?
Yeah, so taking this step to the next level is helping you to ask those questions. Like you said, that patient at Dr. Margis's office, like she values what it is that he is going to do for her because she knew and understood just how good he was at his competencies. And this is where we need to identify who are those patients. What are the behaviors of those patients? We need to figure out what they want and what they need and how we can cater to those things using our strengths and our competencies. So, what can we align on with what they look like? Oftentimes my teams, when they go through this, they can sometimes identify an age range. They can identify what it is that they value. Some of our teams will walk through with new patients, like, what is it that you value? Do you value healthy overall body? Do you value oral health? Do you value aesthetics? Do you value function? Do you need to bite, chew? All of those things that they will ask these patients for. And what they value is going to align with what you value as well. Asking your patients, again, with either some kind of review or a survey feedback to know and understand what it is that they love about your practice will help you to identify what kind of patient you want to attract as well. And focusing on the needs of those ideal patients is how your practice can solve those specific needs that they have in a way that your competitors won't. Your competitors may look at like the general public and what other things people are saying out there. You can't always believe what's on the internet. These trolls will tell you all sorts of things, but you're really, truly trusted patients. I have my clients start with like patients that you absolutely love. Why do they come here? Ask them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so a couple more things. I love everything you said, and we say this a lot on the podcast. I mean, when you're thinking about it, if you're going to create a great restorative practice, the truth of it is, if you're a one doctor practice, you only really need about 1,200 patients. and an annual patient value of $1,000 or $1,100 or $1,200, and now you're cooking with gas. You have an amazing practice. A full-time hygienist can only see about 750 patients per year if they see patients twice a year, so you're in the same ballpark as that. Now, you can take those numbers and extrapolate them. You don't need 3,300 patients. So here's how you use this. Who are our core customers? What do they value? Because your favorite people ultimately care about the same things that you care about. You can include your core values. I know here at ACT, our favorite people, they have the same set of values, same set of family values. A lot of times, people that come here that maybe we don't fit, they just value different things than we do, or they want to be disagreeable. It's okay to disagree, but to be disagreeable is just not what we do. So you want to start asking yourself those questions. And when you start to develop your core customers, you're going to find a couple things. Number one, they show up on time. They usually keep their appointments. For the most part, they don't cancel all the time. They come to you because of you. Let me say that again. They come to you because of you, not because you're on a list, not because you're cheap, not because you're easy to get into, not because you have evening or Saturday hours, not because you do all of what they need. They come to you because of you, and they pay, so sometimes when you're a younger dentist or you're just getting started in this journey, you got to start with the things that you know for sure. Do they show up? Do they pay? And do they come to us because of us? I think that's a really good place to start. And then you just start to grow from there. Ultimately, you're going to find that these patients refer other patients that are just like them. This is not rocket science. But a lot of times, dentists don't want to do this work that creates the easy part of it, of what happens later. Don't you think, Heather?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love everything that you just said, Kirk. Absolutely. Yes. And those patients, those are easy things. Like they pay, they show up, they don't cancel or no-show their appointments. Yes, those are easy. But I love when you lean into, they come because of you. And if you were to move an hour away and build up another practice, a lot of those patients, your avatar patients, are going to follow you, and they're going to make the effort to make that drive. Like you said with Dr. Margis, if you're going to drive 5 hours, because you are totally his people and you value the same things.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you mentioned 3 uniques. Can you tell us what that is and how to do it if I'm a dentist listening?
So I love going through this with my clients, and we'll describe what acts are here in a moment. But when we calibrate on those strengths that we just discussed and talked about, hey, we're good at this, and consistently delivering on this, and this, and we enjoy doing that, and it brings us that fulfillment. Then you get to calibrate on those and what the patients are valuing and condense them into 3 clear, concise, and distinctive qualities that form those 3 uniques that we keep talking about. Now, being simple and concise is key. So don't make them super long and lengthy paragraphs. For example, at ACT, our 3 uniques are aligned, smart, and healthy. We help dental teams become more aligned on vision and values, practice smarter using data to guide decisions, and we build strong trust and culture. We believe the balance of these 3 strengths are what sets us apart. And I would add to that not only do we have those 3 uniques, but we have a really amazing structure in place so that our teams and our clients can actually deliver on being aligned, smart, and healthy, and improve and progress in those areas by having weekly team meetings. And I know that sets us apart as well. This is what's so great, Kirk. When I have people on planes, random strangers that I'll run into, like, hey, what do you do for work? Are you traveling for work or pleasure? Those pleasantries that you exchange on a plane. And I'll say I'm a dental practice coach, and they don't know what the heck that is. But when I share, we help dental practices and their teams become more aligned, smart, and healthy, it clicks for them. And they go, oh, I know and understand what that means now. It's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I would piggyback on everything you said, because that's one of my favorite things. And at one time, many years ago, we counted up how many competitors we had. I think there were over 220 types of groups, whether they be individual or groups. that actually helped dentists as coaches. Now, all of them are good. They do different things, for the most part. If they've been in business for more than 5 years, they know what they're doing. And dentistry is an awesome, noble profession. But you as a dental professional or as a dentist, you can't say everybody is my type of people. And you shouldn't. It's no different than your practice. And so when you say aligned, smart, and healthy, we've spent a lifetime like, what are we good at? Those are things that we love to do. I think more than anything, we like to talk about them. We love to share stories. Getting an entire team aligned is one of my favorite things, because when you get a group of people aligned around a purpose, a process, they can crush it. When you get a team smart, they're doing the right things every single day and they're repeating them and they get organized. They crush it that much more. And then the X factor is when you get everybody healthy, which means you get the right people with the right values and you get them in the right seats. That's when you see what Pete Dawson used to say, they can produce twice as much in half the time at the quarter of the stress. That's where some of the biggest ROIs come from. And it wasn't the goal to begin with. It was to get everything lined up. So I know I can talk about this for a long time. And the reason I share this on the podcast is that you as a dentist or as a team member, once you figure out the 3 things that really make you different, you can put them in your marketing. You can put them in a podcast. You can put them in a conversation. You can talk to a specialist. You can tell your periodontist. Your periodontist can tell a patient why you're different. Now it becomes easy. And it really does have to be about 3 things. Once you get into 5, it becomes too much. Look, you're not good at everything. But get really good at 3 things and build an entire conversation around them. And I can't say enough about it because it just becomes everything. It also becomes the test of what you're doing. Is what we're doing right now, does it line up with, our 3 differentiators, our core purpose? And let's talk about this, Heather. Once you get them right or you get them going, they don't even need to be perfect. You can just get them going. How do we use them once we have them?
Well, to piggyback off of what you said, the more we talk about them, the more our team members will talk about them, the more our patients will start to talk about them. And when our patients start to talk about them, that's that natural internal marketing effort that they will then refer people that they love and that are like them into the practice, because they know that you're going to take care of the people that they love because they trust you and you're their people, because of this thing that they know and they feel, because you communicate it really well and your team communicates it really well. And it's very clear to them what's important to you and what you're really, really good at. You can put it on social media. You can put in a rhythm. Gosh, you can schedule social media posts. You can have AI help you with that, as long as you enter in what you've got really clear on what your 3 uniques and differentiators are for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
That's the thing though, is your team is going to emanate that, right? I've met complete strangers on planes that they'll say, oh, my aunt's husband is a dentist, and I hand them my card. I'm like, let me share with you what we do and what we've been able to accomplish for other dentists like your aunt's husband in the past. And it's mostly all based on our 3 uniques.
Yeah, absolutely. You start to create a lot of energy. You can also embrace, one of the core values we have here is always be growing. So we're always learning about the 3 things that make us different, and we get a lot of energy from that. It also makes it easy to say no to something. When somebody comes to us and says, oh, you're a coach, I want 47 practices. I want to scale this and sell it to, private equity. I'm not your guy. I'm just not. But if you want to practice 1 or 2 or 3 and you want to have an amazing culture and you want to crush it and have a better practice and a better life, well, I'm your guy. That's what we do, and that's what we're good at. And you can weave them not only into your website copy, you can weave them into a conversation, you can weave them most notably in a phone call. Your team member at the front, they got to be a salesperson. They got to be leaning into, okay, listen, let me share with you why we're different here. You're going to find cheaper dentists anywhere, but you're not going to find a better dentist anywhere when it comes to this or that. And that's got to happen on the phone call. as one of the most notable places to do it. Also, patient education. That's where you're going to really lean into it, because people are going to be looking for what you do. And you can say, we are really good at this. The reason you called, that is what we are really good at. And a team member needs to be able to say that confidently if that's what you do. When it comes to treatment recommendations, your patients don't look at your mouth. They look at your eyes, and your eyes have to tell a story of like, this is what we're good at. And then when the dentist leaves, the team member, whether it be the treatment coordinator or the assistant's got to tell the same story with their eyes. You're going to have a follow-up system that includes that. In your referrals, you can ask for people in referrals to speak specifically to that. My hope is that you'd read some of your reviews or your referrals, and they would say all that already. So how you use this is endless. I will tell you that once you start to use it, everything gets better. Your marketing gets better. Your conversations get better. Your collective confidence as a team gets better. And you start to attract a different type of patient that stays, shows up, pays, and follows through ultimately with a lot of your recommendations. So it's good stuff. We love talking about this. And again, the goal of this podcast is just to bring you great frameworks, great information. This is the stuff we talk about all day long with great dental practices all over the country. And I'm here to tell you it works. So Heather, give us some final takeaways. What else do we need to know?
Well, thanks, Kirk, for all of that. Seriously, your words of wisdom help to motivate and inspire me as a coach, even this many years in. I love it. And I love listening to you. You're awesome. So here's the thing. Do this differentiation before somebody else writes a story about you and there's, a reputation out there. Do it now and make sure that the entire team is collectively aligned on what this narrative looks like. What are your strengths? What are your uniques? What does that look like when I talk to a patient or a complete stranger about what it is that makes us different? You are in control of the narrative if you do it before somebody else does. What are the main reasons why somebody should come to you? Come up with that and be very clear. When you do share what makes you special and you attract more patients, ask them, like, why was it, Mrs. Jones, may I ask you, why was it that you chose to come to our practice? And keep laying the foundation for the validity of those differentiators, because that will just help to layer on the trust and the confidence that your team has in those. With them, make sure that they align with your core focus, your core purpose, and your core values. When that all takes place, then everything gets better. Better practice, better life. It's going to reduce your stress. Like you said before, Kirk, you're going to see your productions go up, your collections go up. You're going to have the right person at the right time with the right procedure, and it's going to feel like magic. You're going to drive into your office parking lot, park, and just say, I get to go to work today. And I'm so excited to be here.
So well said. So well said. And you sent me an email this week actually on this, and I don't know who said this. It's the three selves. And I'm going to totally screw it up, but it's brilliant, whoever said it. And I wish I could give credit to whoever this was, but you have, anybody listening to this podcast, you have three selves. The first self is like, who do I want to be? The second one is, who do others think I am? And then the third one is, who am I really? And it becomes the best life. Now, none of them always line up perfectly. We're always working on something. I am not who I want to be yet. You know what I mean? So there's some work to be done there. But you feel the least friction and the happiest when all of those three line up. And having this differentiation in place, you can confidently say, this is who we are, this is who we aren't, this is how our core values and our core purpose all relate, especially as you start to build leaders and build a cohesive team and aligned team. So I just can't say enough about it. This stuff works. And a lot of times dentists think, I don't need that. I just need a marketing campaign. I need a new technology. I need a new set of operatories. No. Let's figure out how you're different. and let's lean into that and add some energy to it and attract the right type of patients before we start doing that stuff. So we do have a differentiation tool, like Heather mentioned. If you want a copy of it, we're so happy to share it. We want to be helpful. You can email us at info@actdental.com. We also have a core purpose tool that feeds right into this. We're happy to send that to you. And then the EOS system by Gino Wickman, the entrepreneurial operating system, actually does a great job of describing what the three uniques are. And we actually use this in our own business. So no need to recreate this. In full transparency, they do just an incredible job. We have that. If you want that, you can email us at info@actdental.com. And if you're just struggling, you need some help, we have a full-time therapist here. Her name is Gina, Gina. And she'll help you with whatever you need. But Heather, thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate you.
Oh, such a pleasure, Kirk. I always really enjoy coming on and talking with you. Thank you. This differentiation, it helps me to solidify the thought and the practice with my clients. Thank you.
Amen. We're going to have you back again and again and again. So you don't have a choice. It's awesome. Right,
I will be here. You just tell me when and where. You
got it. Well, stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Best Practices Show podcast. The whole jam of this podcast is to give you great information, help you improve your practice in your life. Dentistry is an amazing profession. And I'm here to tell you, if you do this stuff, it works. And you'll create a great practice and a great life. So keep showing up. We're going to keep bringing it. So until we see you guys next time, or you hear from us next time, keep watching or keep listening to the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy your day.